Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Just getting things started here. Do, 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 do. Might actually use an emoji again in the... Oh, morning SP, morning Sam. Yeah, it's workday. Workday indeed. Workday code day. Both of the Sams in the chat. How many Scurio skills do you have now, Sam? Sampai. Getting that bond. So I haven't had this 116, so 120 total. Oh yeah, I saw that yesterday. You had 120 total. That's cool. That's really nice. Yeah, I'm still at 0. Let's see if I can do it this week. Probably not, because I have some plans. I'm traveling on Thursday, and I will be away all week, all the rest of the week after that. So I'm not a threat for your bond, that's for sure. I think you have a pretty... Yeah, perfect for you. Some good XP. I think you have a good buffer now. It's gonna be hard for anyone to beat you. I mean, you're gonna notice it. Like if someone starts chugging along at Scurio skills. Wonder how fast you can do it. Like if you're like a super high level character. Few minutes, so maybe 20-30 kills an hour. Okay, that's not that. You can beat you in a day probably, or like come past you in a day. So you need to be on your toes. Yeah. Still, okay, working on sending updates of the player spawning between clients. Welcome back, Sam. Someone higher can probably beat it in less than a minute. Okay. And then just rinse and repeat. Yeah, true. So in like 2 hours, they have more kills than you, and then it's gonna be hard for you to keep up. I think an interesting next event would be like agility pyramid or something. Talked about it a bit yesterday. At least because that's something I can join. And it's a very grindy, and it's a good... I don't know if it's good for most accounts, but it would be good for mid-level accounts, I guess, for the gold. Day is going good, Sam. Just started, just woke up. So this is my morning ritual now on weekdays, getting some coding in before I go to work. Send updates of player spawning between clients. I haven't opened this codebase in 2 days now, so I barely remember where it was. It's a lot to take in. Like, there's so much context to load into my brain for the debugging. So it's like 1 hour session is almost too short. So, because I need to like load everything in my brain every time, and that takes like 20 minutes or 15 minutes. So on this one we have both players. On this one no player is spawning at all now. Yeah, okay, so let me take some notes here. So right now, the host player spawns new its own, and client player just gets world, but no, gets a copy of the base world, but no player of its own. No, so basically it gets 0 updates. Yeah, I have a job. I do. Two days until your birthday. Huge, man. Huge. Is it a big, like, is it a good, even birthday number? Does it unlock anything in your life? My job. How should I say it? So, my job is, you could call, like, generally this role I have is called data engineer. So you can look that up what it is, but basically working with at companies, they need data for different use cases for the business. And that data is not always available in an easy to use format, or maybe it's hidden behind in different systems and it's not gathered in one place, or like it requires a lot of work to get to it. So then the job of a data engineer is to make it easily available, the data that is useful for the business, basically. And then you use like programming, different tools to automate that. That's basically my job. Very high level. Very, very vague, but very high level. Host player spawns, client. Okay, so now we need to start sending updates. Yeah, let's see where my my chat with Gemini is at. How is your coding going, Sam? You told me you wanted to learn. Is it this? Data engineering involves designing, building, and maintaining the systems that collect, store, process, and analyze data. Yeah, exactly. That's it. So, I mean, you use a lot of Python. Python, for example, and you would use like Python notebooks, like Jupyter Notebook. It's a tool that is used sometimes. Pandas is a Python library. But there are many ways to do it, but these are just like some popular tools that are good to know. Coding is going kind of bad. Why is that? Sorry, I'm just flicking around here. Okay. Actually, I should actually try this now. So something I did for... You don't know anything, that's why it's going bad. Well, do you want to learn coding? I mean, it's easy, I would say, to learn if you really want to. And I mean, you have the brains for it, I think. I mean, I think most people do have the brains for it, but I think you have the mind for it because the kind of games you told me you like RimWorld, you like RimWorld, means you probably have you have a mind that handles complexity and likes to structure and organize things and solve problems. So I think coding you might like it. You should try it. So yeah, yesterday or in the weekend I created a GPT for old school RuneScape. I should do that for Rust. I think or not Rust, for Godot. I think in the case of Godot, it might be possible to download the documentation this time and actually give it. Godot 4.4 documentation. Because this is open source, so it might actually be possible to just download it. If not here, maybe on Git. How big is this? Read the docs. Downloads. No downloads for this project. Yeah, look up a beginner's guide. I would say just start with something you want to build. If there is some project you find interesting, like game development is a good start, for example. Like if you like games, you just try to build something simple and easy. Start there, like build projects. And like ChatGPT, Google is your friend for sure. And let me know how it goes. I started learning on a site called Code Academy. I think this is what they are called. Yeah. And here they had some good introductory courses to like very, very basic concepts, like what variables are and stuff. But I think Khan Academy also has some good stuff. Khan Academy is great. I used it to learn some math, like recently. Programming. What is programming? Program execution, intro to computer science. Yeah, check Khan Academy. That would be my suggestion. It's totally free. You just create an account and they have a lot of courses about math and coding and stuff. Godot docs download. Download for offline use. For offline use. How? Ah, okay. Stable. Latest stable. Oh, damn, it's huge. It's huge. It's 300 megabytes. Holy shit. It's kind of hard to learn coding when you have school. Yeah, I understand that. But I mean, you're in school to learn. But you're in India. I don't know how that school system works exactly. I heard it's quite competitive and you have to spend a lot of time. But hopefully you have some free time. Is the images the problem? Like, no, it cannot be. I assure you, if you start doing like 15 minutes of Khan Academy introduction to coding every day before, like within a month or something, you're gonna, for sure, like within a week, you're gonna start rocking what it's about, and then it will snowball from there. It goes pretty fast. Maybe you can sacrifice some of your RimWorld time for Khan Academy courses. Is there like a Godot book? Godot 4.4 book. Free online, like for Rust? Oh, okay. Let's let go of that idea. How do I send? Okay, I got the queuing system to work. Now for the host player, the world loads. It loads its own player, and when the other player joins, that player gets created in the world, but the host can still just control itself. However, for the joining player, we see just gets the base world loaded, no changes, i.e., for example, the host player is not seen, and its own player is not loaded. I think the host needs to send all this info to the client player somehow. How? And then maybe this should be a new thread. Network manager. Main menu. And the network manager is a singleton. Oh, you have to walk your dog. That was fast. Base character. Player. Would be nice with some way of exporting all of this to an LLM, like this project information, like all the code, all the scene tree information, so that the LLM gets more context. So, how much are you turning, Sam, on the 21st? If I can ask. My own learning project right now, except for the coding here that I'm doing, is language. I'm trying to learn Arabic. You're turning 16. Nice. Huge. It's a great age to start coding. But if you start coding before you turn, this is a challenge to you. If you start coding before you turn 16, when you become a famous programmer, you can say that you started programming when you were 15. It sounds better than when you were 16. I mean, 16 is definitely not too late. It's still early. You started when you were 24? Oh, so you also code Senpai. Yeah, I started SUP RBN. Why use an LLM when there are good write-ups? I don't know. I like to change things up a bit, and I just think it's fun to try to get the LLMs to give me the right answer, even if they are not very reliable. Yeah, I started coding when I was like front and back end dev. Nice. Started coding when I was like 16 or something, 15. But then I had very long breaks. I did it a bit, then I had long break, then I did it a bit, like 4 years breaks, and then a bit again. Zero clue what that means. So I can try to explain. So yeah, Senpai is explaining. Websites have front end, what customer client sees, and then the back end where magic happens. Yeah. So a simple example would be you have your phone with like YouTube playing. Oh, this is very, very small. Let me try to paint it. Don't save. It's an interesting challenge to explain this. How can I make the brush bigger? You have your phone with YouTube. And what you see here is the front end. Everything you touch, everything you click on your phone is the front end. But a lot of things happen in the back end. I guess you could say both on the machine itself. There's some client backend, I guess. But then also there's a server somewhere that does a lot of like sending the videos, sending the amount of likes and stuff. And that is like in a database. And yeah, I don't work that much like backend actual software development, but yeah, that's a way to categorize it. Magic happens. Yeah, there's a lot of magic going on in software development. Like a motherboard, not really, not really. It's like maybe a website is a better thing to better example to explain with. Like on a website, you have like, hello, you see this in your browser, and then there's a backend somewhere that sends this. Damn, I can't explain this. Yeah. And maybe, yeah, it's a web shop or something. So there's like a list of products that you see. And so everything you see in your browser, this is like the front end. So you see the text, and this is also like in code, kind of. It's explained in code, like how big should the font be, how should the, what's the like layout, like how should the products be presented. But to get the products, there is code in the browser in the front end that like sends a request to a server somewhere else. It's like, hey, I need to fill this table with products. It sends its request to the server, and then there's some execution, code execution happening on the server side. And then it's like, okay, I found your products. It sends them back. It's like product 1, 1, 2, 3, etc. And it's like, okay, thank you. And then it presents it. And then when the player presses like more, there might be another request that is sent. It's like more, and the server checks it and it gives a response. So the server's job is to like have all the information, like as Sampai is saying. All the magic happens there. It has information about the products, the business logic, all the stuff you need, maybe account information, payment, processing, etc. And the client is just like your thin wrapper on top of that can communicate with the backend. So backend is usually, I wouldn't say more coding, because there's also like nowadays a lot of coding going on to make these websites look like they do and act like they do. But I would say there's more like hardcore programming going on in the backend. However, this is not my line of work. I don't do this much, so I have a very basic understanding. This is maybe not how it happens today. In short, frontend shows the store, products, and shopping cart. The backend processes your order, checks inventory, and stores your details. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And this is not just for websites. This is like for anything. And I guess it's a bit of a, it's not like a hard definition. I guess it depends a bit who you ask, like where that line is drawn between the front and the back. Yeah, sorry, RBN, I missed your question. What I do for a living? I work as a data engineer. And you? Same occupation as this United Health killer. I noticed. He also worked as a data engineer. I don't think there's a causation there. Compiler and tooling design as a research subject for your masters. Oh, that's nice. I never had an education in computer science. I studied business. For OSRS, the front end is what you see and control in the game. Your character, the world, inventory, and menus. It's basically what runs on your PC, yeah. Then in the backend, there's Jagex servers, which keeps track of your account stats, item, and bank. Yeah, exactly. So that's actually what's going on here. Why this game is not working. So that's because the backend is not doing its job right now. Or maybe it's a combination of both. But like on the left side here, this acts, it has both a front end but also a back end. Like it also acts as a server for the other one. When I join this game with this one, like I don't get any response with information about the world from the server. So like the backend is not doing what it should at the moment. And maybe the front end also doesn't really know how to handle that information if it would be given it. Every click you do is sent to the backend, which checks what you did and sends the result back. Yeah. That's probably what I need to do in my game, actually. it all comes around full circle. That's what's not happening. The clicks are not sent. Because so taking it back to this project, like I think to solve the problem, what I need to do is have the host get the input from all the players and calculate the results and then send the results back. So the clients themselves should not do too much decision making or calculations. However, I know there is going to be issues with latency, like if all player movements are calculated in the backend and then presented when they arrive, you're going to get a lot of lagging. So there needs to be some smoothing mechanism there, like interpolation or something. AKA server authority. There are very good write-ups on this. Yeah, I'm sure. You seem to be a bit anti the ChatGPT way. I'm gonna do both for sure. Like I'm trying to do both when I'm trying to learn this. Sup, busy bandit. Lag compensation was nearly the death of me when working on multiplayer. I can imagine. I don't know what I'm getting into here. That's why this is like a multiplayer prototype. You were thinking of being a doctor or a lawyer, but now that you think about it, you're like, no way. Yeah, what do you really want? I mean, you're still young. You can decide what you want to do. I would advise to go for what you like to do. Like, what do you think about when you have free time? What puts you in a flow state? Try programming and see if that puts you in a flow state. So issue, client lacks host player info, client lacks world state, scene readiness. Player state tracking on the server, yeah. So what does it add here to send info to the joining client? Your message got retracted, Sam. I didn't see it. Maybe you saw that it got retracted. Maybe there was some word that was filtered or something. No, okay, I'm gonna find some guide on this. I think this is just gonna make it harder, because I don't know if it does it like in the best way. It's saying here now, tell the newly connected client to spawn all existing players, and it has a list of server spawned players. Tell everyone to spawn the new player. Yeah. So the current issue is, I can show you the so when I host here and then join, oops, yeah, that's not the issue that it's jumping up. That's another issue. It's because they respond in the same position. But if we look in the debugger, in session 1, that is, okay, this is the joining one. Session 2, I think, is the host. We see there's a player 1, and there's the joining player. These are the goblins, but player 1 and the joining player. While for the client, it's just loading the main game, but nothing else. And I think if I would have done stuff with the goblins in the host, I mean, this is just the template main game I think it's getting. So like nothing is sent over to the joining player. Cool, Sam. Cool. A parkourer sounds like a cool job. I wonder how many people are professional parkourers in the world. Thank you, man. Is it remote procedure calls I need to do? Can be called on other peers to create one, use RPC, annotation. Write a headless server. That way you can have a client A and B both read the game state from the server and each handle it separately. Usually how it's done. Yeah, I want to do that eventually. That's my goal eventually, but I thought for like faster iterations, because if I do a headless server, I need to compile it right separately. Eventually, I want to break that code out and have a headless server. The goal with the prototype would be to have this run on like a Raspberry Pi, and then other people like from the chat or so could join. There's a lot of issues on the way there though. For example, I thought, oh, I can just compile this, put it on like itch.io or something. Then like, how big is that gonna be? Like these resources are pretty big. That's gonna take a while to download. I might need to simplify the models a bit to make that happen. But yeah, that would be fun, right? To create some kind of sandbox world where people can just join online. Busy Bandit. RPCs are the way to go, at least from my experience. There should be an RPC from the host to the client to tell it to join the world, which would include instantiating each player's node. Okay. That's good to know. Yeah, we can try something simple like this, some print statements. To call every peer. RPC ID to call in a specific peer. No, I haven't read this. Both RPCs must have the same signature, which is evaluated with a checksum of all RPCs. And then how do we call remote? Okay, so they have IDs. So I could send an RPC call to the server, and the server could probably... Should it keep track? Can the server keep track? I guess it has to, of the IDs. Let's try that. And then I can just build up my own logic here for sending information. That's probably going to be the best way to learn how this works as well. on peer connected, new peer ID. I should probably have this added, like connected peers equals dot concat new peer ID. And then I want to get the send a signal to the peer. RPC. So can I do RPC print func print from client if not multiplayer dot is server. So if we are not the server, print I'm a connected client. Maybe we should even send the peer ID. So the same node path. Yeah, they should have the same node name. They're all going to be the network manager. When using add child, both RPCs must have the same signature, yeah. So how do I call it? Ah, multiplayer get remote sender ID. Okay, that's also interesting. And got a message from remote sender multiplayer.get remote sender ID. I think I just need to familiarize myself with this multiplayer API a bit. Ah, okay, I can do here. This is how I do it, RPC ID. So I call this and then I give it an RPC ID. RPC print from client. .rpc ID new peer ID. How do I send arguments to it? Probably there is a multiplayer way to know my own peer ID. Post game. Join game. Okay, concat doesn't exist. What's the name of that one again? I'm doing it with player creation queue. Player creation queue. Append. It's append, not concat, of course. Print RPC print from client was called. Does it get called at all? You build the parameters of the function on the client, then call that function from the server. It'll run that function on the client as long as you use the correct @rpc format on the previous line. Okay. Connected, peer connected. So I'm not using the correct RPC format, maybe. I'm not giving it any... No, they have default values. RPC is equivalent to authority. Only the multiplayer authority can call remotely. Yeah, that's good. The authority is the server, so only the server can call that. Call remote. The function will not be called on the local peer. Useful when the server is also a player. Yeah, maybe I need that actually. Authority. Technically, the default RPC is sending it to the server. Okay. If you replace authority to any peer, it'll send it to all the clients. Ah. And then I think I need call local. Reliable for now. There's a significant performance penalty to this. Might need to remove that later. Channel index. Yeah, we can just leave that as default. It does still not get called. Print trying to run the RPC call. Okay, example lobby implementation. So this keeps track of players. This is, yeah, I need to spend some time here, I think. Players, player info for every player with keys being each player's unique ID. All right, when the server decides to start the game from a UI scene, do lobby.loadGame RPC file path. What? File path. Ah, so this is actually the argument going into this function only. I need to set up some RPC functionality on the client then to allow it to receive that RPC. But this is also like the client is also having this exact code running. So when I start the game, yeah, it's gonna have this one as well. Let me find an example. Thank you. Gotta go in a minute. But thank you for the help. Appreciate it. Sup, senpai? Not really. Not really. Just trying to... Haven't heard talking in several minutes. Really? I don't know. I don't think about that, but maybe it has been quiet. Not having any luck. When I get home, I'll send you an example. Don't want to hold you if you need to go. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Maybe you were muted? No, I don't think so. Maybe I was deep into thoughts. Lobby, player loaded, RPC ID. Okay. I think, I mean, this networking problem, yeah, that's going to take a while actually to get my head around this. That's for sure. RPC. Yeah, good goal is to, let me update the to-do. First of all, get an RPC call working from server to client. But there must be an RPC call happening because the server knows that the client joined. Yeah, I'll have to figure this out. All right, guys, I gotta go. Hope you have a good day and see you soon. Bye-bye.